But now it's time for a showdown. Like, sit here. Wow, he's tapping it. He is tapping his foot.
You're late, Musashi.
Oh, you missed me.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd ever repeat those words. Fate is strange indeed.
You lost me.
Don't you remember? This is a new game to us.
Shall I spell it out for you? We are from the same world, you and I. I was a samurai named Gandrake. Our destinies are bound together, though you seem unaware of it.
I believe it was Ganryu versus Musashi.
Wait, I remember that name. It was once an honorable one.
Do you wish to go home again, Musashi?
Well, yeah.
I once did too. But after a fateful encounter with the Archnebulous, all became clear. I knew what had to be done.
Which was?
Nebulite makes this world go round, and every chunk of it traces back to the Archnebulous. With my innovative Nebulium engine, I built this company up from nothing.
A genius samurai from his time did all this, by the way.
Oh, please, spare me the sales pitch.
It was all thanks to him, the Archnebulous.
Excuse me?
Yes, the Archnebulous has a mind of his own, but you'd never understand.
I knew you were nuts, but talking rocks? Do they sing and dance too?
This is crazier than Musashi versus Kojiro back in Brave Fencer Musashi.
The Archnebulous is a higher form of life, with an intellect vastly superior to our own. In time, our wills merged. A union of souls, as it were. And now, we think and act as one. With Mycella and the swords in our grasp, we want for nothing. We now form a single entity, evolving ever closer to omnipotence. One life to rule all others.
Basically, he wants to become God.
I'm sure you make a lovely couple, but think of the children.
We will purge the world of its impurity.
Oh.
Built anew through our newfound power. Of course, we may require further assistance from your mystics.
Ha! Who would even think of helping you?
We will do the thinking for everyone.
At least he doesn't want to commit the zero mortal plan. Ha, ha, ha. I'm so sick of that joke, cracking that joke now.
We shall liberate them from the burden of autonomy. The ungrateful will die.
I'd be grateful just to be rid of you.
Enough! Your fate is sealed. Feel the wrath of the Archnebulous.
This is a dumb boss fight, by the way. I honestly would have loved to have seen Hi, I'm Daisy do a comic of this game. So now we have Clone Musashi, or Dark Musashi, Shadow Musashi.
This may prove amusing.
Not good.
Musashi, I'll help you. I can heal you if you stay close.
You have to carry her if you want to heal.
How about I carry you?
That should work. Just keep me in your arms and I'll heal you as long as I can. But I will need to rest eventually. Hang in there, Musashi.
It's not that hard of a fight, to be honest. Ow. Yeah, why does his do damage? And he's dropped the Sword of Earth. This is mine! Rightfully belongs to mine! Oh, right. Tremor Thrust. Tremor Thrust is useless. Actually, it's not, but I'm not even gonna bother picking her up because it's not worth it. Sit down. This is mine! Alright, pick you up. Sit. Give me back my sword! This is mine as well! Now you can't do the fire dash. Oh, yeah, you can still do that. Oop. 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 Give me that! And I guess I should restore my MP. This is mine. Come me.
Meddlesome wench.
Pew! You shot the White Mage!
You'll pay for that! You'll pay with your life! Even if I go down with you!
Silence! No more games.
Did you think that was my final form, boy?
Prepare yourself for the first step toward a new world!
And my controller is vibrating like crazy. This is what happens when I buy one of these pads. See? I guess I shouldn't talk about that right now. I mean, something important's happening. Okay, Shadow. Or Bio Wizard. Or Final Hazard. Or... what else is there? See, this controller I have is called a Storm Chaser gamepad. It's an old PS2 controller that has some nice functions, but they don't exactly work out well. I just like the feel of it, except for the vibration. Except for the vibrating function, because they included more than one motor in the pad. So this thing vibrates like crazy. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it vibrate, but yeah, this thing goes off like crazy. And this thing makes me hate the vibrate function in video games. Oh look, it's everyone's favorite cat. Hiya! So now we have a final boss. Like so. It's not bad looking, it's just Gandrake nebulized, or nebulized Gandrake, whichever name you want to call it. I've been getting names backwards and forwards all the time. First, I'm going to freaking cheese this because I don't like this fight. Remember Inner Refuge? Yeah, we're gonna abuse that. Because you can't damage him while he's active. You have to wait him out. Oh God! I should record that just for... Also, notice, like, you're not getting the focus bonus damage. You're not gonna get focus bonus damage because you can't, like, totally focus down on this guy. The only thing that it's worth for is locking on. Oh, he was tired after that? I didn't even hear it. I'm waiting on sound cues. Oh, yeah, I can outrun that. As long as I don't jump. And because this is taking too long. But yeah, Inner Refuge will cheese this fight because you can just cut it on, cut it off, cut it on, cut it off, and you're invincible. Except for to that. That's when you should cut it off. And he's dead. And that's the end of the game. Or is it?
How could I have let this happen? Forgive me.
And now the text isn't automated. Well, the dialogue isn't automated.
Please, do not blame yourself. There is nothing you could have done. It was fate.
But I...
Don't worry, Axel. Oops. Yeah, if you didn't notice, Musashi's voice in this game is Axel from Mega Man X7.
Maybe not, Musashi. Give her to the Anthrodon.
You mean...
Oh, merciful Anthrodon! Mycella lives once more!
Wow, his voice changed. His voice changed big time.
I'm back. Uh-oh.
Well, welcome back! Come, come, so much to prepare. We shall have celebrations, victory parades, and assorted displays of pageantry.
His voice changed big time. Because he was like, ah, Musashi. And I was like, oh my god!
Not too shabby, little firefly.
I'm so happy, Master!
Oh, you call me master? Huh, you give fat promotion to Whisker Dude.
Fat cat deserve fat promotion!
I'm thinking of doing a picture of Mew versus Jubei from BlazBlue. Well, we're not done. That's why I'm still talking, because, I mean, well, okay.
You've got to be kidding me!
No.
Musashi, we settle this now.
Not again!
There's one thing I want to try. I'm not sure if I can. Istara! Quick! Slash him in the back! Be the bait and I always know who are!
Get going! Move!
No, you will see this through, come what may.
All right, if you're sure.
We believe in you, Musashi. I'm frightened, but I'm staying. You'll be all right. Right, Musashi? Of course. He's Musashi after all.
I know you can do it. Focus.
That's your only clue.
Disavow him! Dead.
Please, Musashi, come out alive. Believe in yourself. If anyone can do it, you can.
I know I can. Thanks, all of you. Don't worry. I won't let you down.
So, this is probably... This is kind of lame, but it's also really good.
Promise?
This is pretty much a do or die situation. And don't worry, if you die, you can just continue from where you left off, which is like literally right here. But you have to. It's pretty much a one-on-one match, and this is a true, more or less like a true samurai or movie style thing. Let's go. If you miss that, you die. And I believe it doesn't matter what your focus stat is at, like, as long, because he waits for you to get to your max focus. Because I've had much lower focus and it took forever. And so it came to pass that Musashi, the samurai from another world, fulfilled his promise to save Anthea. Long will the legend be told if I... Dang it! You didn't get to read it all. But that's the end of the game. Okay, so, you want my thoughts? You want my thoughts about this game? Lynn Hart. Musashi's voice was done by Lynn Hart. So, a female. Oh. Okay. Anyway, this game is great on paper. I said this at the beginning. I think I said this at the beginning of the game, but and not so much in a extensive way. This game is great on paper, but in practice, it doesn't really do that well. I mean, the main thing that, like, literally the main thing that you'll see people praise, especially on YouTube, like when people search for this game, they're really just searching for the opening. They're really just searching for the opening to this game and the OST. They don't really care much for the gameplay. And I agree with them. The gameplay is lackluster. Is pretty much lackluster. I mean, there's parts where it's like, oh yeah, like this is great, like you have, but it's all really like not as well as you think it would be, especially because, and one of my reasons is, like, I think Devil May Cry 3 came out around the same time as this game. If not, this game came out later. I'm not sure if this game came out later than DMC3 or before. But either way, Devil May Cry 3, like, destroys this game. That, if I have to compare it to something. And that's the best I can think of to compare it to. And in all honesty, Brave into Musashi does better than this. The first one on PlayStation. This is... This game, like, so here's my, like, here's what I like what I like about the game. I generally like the dialogue for like, here and there. I like the art style. Like, even though some of the clothes are kind of like, what the heck is going on here? Like, Musashi's style of clothes is like, what? Like, I kind of go like, okay, like, I guess that was the thing that was in, just to be like, oh, well, I'm showing my belly. Because I remember, it was like 1 or 2 years after I played this. I played Tales of the Abyss. And Luke Von Faber pretty much has the same thing with his belly button showing. He has pretty much a very similar look. Anyway, I don't... Like... I like the art style. I like the OST to a degree. The gameplay is very lacking. Because what you do, and there's going to be a bit more to the ending. Like, carrying the princesses is not that great, and I guess I should shut up. Because here's our ending. It's time to go. The end. That is the end. Musashi's gone home. Short credits as well. Can you believe it? Usually credits are super long. The combat is generally lacking. It's nice that you could just go... It's nice for this game that you can just go like, okay, well, I can learn this enemy's skill. Boom! Haha, I have this skill. And then even later, like, you get the ability to counter and you get the ability to use decoy and whatnot. But it's not really good. It's really just, okay, well, I'm going to equip the strongest move I have. And there we go. The sword thing, using the swords thing, I don't think it was as well implemented as it could be. Because I did, like, in reality, you didn't really use the swords that much. I think you generally got more mileage out of water, fire, and wind than any other sword in the game. Because those actually did attacks. While the Sword of Earth was like, oh, well, you can use this to break certain rocks, and you can use this to basically ground pound on certain switches. While for enemies, it just knocks them away and like makes them lay on the ground for a bit longer. Meh. And then you have the Sword of the Void, which is, oh, it makes you invisible, which it doesn't work out as well as you hope. It's I mean, it works, but really? And then you have the Great Aura, which is just basically smack everything in your vicinity once or twice. But every enemy you pretty much come across, it's always the same combo. It's like, ha, hoo, ha, hoo, ha, ha. And you can kind of improve on it a bit, but you generally pick up on very quickly. It's like, oh, I have the spin slash. I can just do this to end my combo instead of that slow ender that I have. Or, oh, I could do a thrust. Or, oh, I could use this special move. You generally come to that conclusion. But, yeah, there's not that big of a variety in combat. It's nice that you actually have an action RPG or an RPG in general where you can select which stat you want to focus on when it comes to leveling up. That is actually pretty awesome. But that's about it. And then the rest of the game is like, oh, well, we have bosses. The bosses are... I do like a couple of the bosses because of their design, but I didn't really like how they fought. Like, how they fought is really, really annoying. It's like, oh, and that's it. And it's like, oh, well, this one goes for grabs. Like, oh, this one you can't really avoid its attacks that well because you pretty much have to already be like way over here in order to dodge it properly. It's not exact. This is more of a platformer game than an action RPG. It's more of an action platformer because everything you essentially get is pretty much equivalent to an action platformer. So you gain the ability to double jump, you gain the ability to climb up certain walls, you gain the ability to go through certain areas because you picked up this certain thing. That's exactly what this is more of an action platformer, and that's pretty much what an action platformer does. It's like, hey, you got that new ability, why don't you use it here? And maybe you could go back to these other areas and see what else can happen. You know, like, I think you guys already know what you can think of pretty much any other action platformer and you can put that in its place and you got that. The fights were it ranged to there were some fun ones. Like, the best fight in this game is always going to be Istara. That is the best fight in this game, is Istara. Every other fight pales in comparison. Like, I do like fighting the Gandrake Enterprise guys, except for Gandrake himself, because Gandrake was boring. But all the other ones, it was like, wow, like, these guys actually know how to fight. And it's like Gandrake, it's like, this one is more on the lines of story, but yeah, like, you fight him and it's just, this is dull. Like, this is what he does. Like, he does Shadow Musashi. It's like, I am your shadow, the true self, blah blah blah. Yeah, we'll get past that. And then he goes like, oh, this is in my final form, and grows super big, and he's not and I will honestly admit that the first time I fought him, I died a ton of times because I didn't even think about Inner Refuge. And then any other subsequent time, I'm just like, Inner Refuge, done. Like, jeez. And this time I didn't barely abuse it. I barely abused it as compared to my previous playthroughs. I feel like there should have been more. So I feel like there should have been more content to this game also overall, because you don't really do a lot with a lot of the characters that you meet. It's like, hi, I'm such and such, and I run this store. Awesome. You do a couple of things with some of the stores. It's like, hey, I need you to go get this thing. I didn't really mind the fetch quest. It's just that a lot of the quests can get really annoying, and this is the one aspect of gameplay that I hated, was carrying stuff. Anything you carry now, like, oh, well, you're carrying this now. You are so limited. It makes sense, but you are so heavily limited to what you can do. And you find that every action that you have is pretty much useless because if you rely on these actions, you're going to take damage and you're probably going to die for your thoughts of trying to use those actions. It's like, oh, I can bump the enemy using whatever the heck I'm carrying. Or, oh, I could toss whatever I'm carrying up in the air and do a quick slice. You're better off just running. You're better off just running and gunning it and getting to the end as fast as humanly possible, because it seems like, I honestly feel like the moment you pick something up, everything is out to gun you down. Everything is out to just end you. And I had to I generally ended up having to come up with clever strategies to just get through certain areas. Like, okay, well, I guess I can set this maiden down here, and then I can go take care of all the enemies here, and then go run back, pick her up, and rush on through. That's essentially what my strategy devolved down into. Yet, the funny thing is, like, here's the bad thing. Here's the thing about the game. When I saw this game, back like in 2005 on a trailer, I was like, oh my god, look at this. Like, this game looks awesome. Like, I can't believe they're making another Musashi game. It's been years. For me, I can't even remember when I first played it. I first played Brave Fencer Musashi. Like, it had to been like 7 to 8 years. No, I would say it had to be like 4 to 5 years in between the time I played Brave Fencer Musashi and this game for the first time. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. I get to play. Like, Musashi's coming back. Square Enix, I love you. And you know what the trailer was? The opening to this game. I saw no gameplay trailer. There was no gameplay trailer, but I didn't mind. I was like, this game is exciting. This is Musashi, and look how sweet it looks. I was ready. I was down to playing it. And this was also when you couldn't really trust. You could probably trust reviews, but I didn't care about reviews. I went, you know what? I'm gonna play it. Reviews are like, oh, this game is horrible. Like, the art style is horrible, and like this is that same time when people basically said anything cell shaded is horrible. It's a horrible art style and it should die. The only thing that they accepted as cell shaded art style was Okami. No other game that had cell shading in it was accepted. So that felt a bit biased, and I was just like, I don't care what you guys think. I want to play this. I played this. I didn't really like it too much on my first time through. I played through it. I was like, okay, yeah. Played through it again. Generally felt the same way. Played through it now. I generally feel the same way. Like, it's lackluster. The gameplay doesn't work out. Like, the combat definitely needs to be improved. Like, I don't know what you could do to improve it. Like, because I feel like if I'm carrying someone, then I need to be able to, like, have better options, or at least be able to move and jump fast. Like, move fast and be able to jump a good distance. That was my general that in a lot of cases was my general problem, was carrying stuff. I don't mind doing a lather, rinse, repeat cycle for every single enemy I come across, but yeah, the combat needs to be improved. Story wise, it is what it is. Like, the story is like, you either like it or you don't. Or maybe you're in between. I'm in between. It's not that good. It's not really that good of a story. It's pretty much Brave Fencer Musashi, except that instead of collecting scrolls like in Brave Fencer Musashi, you're collecting maidens to get you to power swords. And the final boss is, like, when I look at it now, I'm just going, this is a really crappy final boss. I was on, like, because so here's my problem with the final boss. You can easily follow along, like, okay, yeah, you're that guy from Musashi's timeline, where he was called from, so you would also call from another world. And then he just basically has a god complex and decides, like, I will rule everyone. I have the power because I met this thing and now we are one. And you just go, really? I was like, really? That's it? The other characters had more personality. And that's the thing, like the build up for how good Gandrake is, how good Gandrake is supposed to be. You're like, oh man, like this guy must be epic. And it just turns out to be that. Because you meet it, like you go into combat in cutscene for the first time and he beats you easily. You're like, oh crap, like this guy's good. And then it just comes down to that. I don't know. Anyway, this playthrough's over. I've been talking for quite a minute for this bit. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Next playthrough, I haven't exactly decided yet. I'm looking and I haven't exactly decided yet. Then if you guys saw one of my previous videos where I showed you my room, I have no shortage of games. I don't really have a shortage of games. It's just, I think since I have too many, it's now a decision of, it's now become harder as to be like, okay, well, what should I play? It really shouldn't be a hard decision, but you know how it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough of Samurai Legend Musashi, Samurai Legend, Samurai Musashi Legend, Musashi Samurai. Yeah, let's just butcher the name. You guys know what it is when I put it up on YouTube. I'll figure out what the next playthrough will be. I don't know what it is. I also have to fill in another time slot. I have to fill in another time slot because Rough Trigger ended by the time I'm recording this. So I'll figure something out. That's the problem when you're playing through games. Anyway, I am Brad Reedy Gaming Ball, signing off. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.